Okay, this video is to show how we can connect to the Raspberry Pi remotely using an SSH session or VNC viewer session for the Gui interface if we want. Well, first of all, we have to connect to the Raspberry Pi using a regular keyboard, mouse, and external monitor. Make these changes in the setup. And then after we do all these changes, then we can disconnect everything and just connect to the Raspberry Pi using the SSH or VNC viewer session with any other computer or laptop on our network. Okay, so first we're gonna go to Preferences, Raspberry Pi Configuration, Interfaces, and we're gonna make sure the SSH and VNC options are enabled. After we make that change, I'm gonna add some extra level of security to our connection, changing the default port of the SSH. The default is 22, but I would like to change that. In order to do that, we're going to type the command sudo nano dc sshd_config, and we're going to look for this line here. This is port 22. Well, we're going to change that for, let's say, 9. So Control X, yes, and enter. Well, we changed the SSH port right now. Now I'm going to assign a static IP to the Raspberry Pi. So every time I connect to the with SSH or VNC viewer, I know what is the exactly the IP. Because if I leave it as an DHCP option, then the router can assign any IP every time we reset the Raspberry Pi. So that's why we want to assign a static IP. Okay, so in order to assign a static IP, we have to first know what is the range of IPs that is working on our network. What that means that we have to access to our router and then check what are those IPs. So in order to do that, I'm gonna do cmd or command prompt on Windows, ipconfig. So I can see here that I'm connected via Ethernet to the router. So my IP for the Windows is 192.168.1.1.113, and the default gateway, that's the IP of the router. So this is the IP that we have to type on a regular browser in order to access to the router. Okay, it's 192.168.1.1, and here we are. This is the router. So here I'm gonna see under setup. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go to status while asking me for user and password. Okay, now I can see here that obviously the local IP address, this is the IP address of the router, 192.168.1.1. And this is important, start IP address. So the DHCP service on the router is assigning IPs to any device that is connected to my network, starting with the IP 192.168.1.100. And the maximum users, I put 50. That means between 100 and 149. Those are the range of IPs that my router is going to use to assign to any device that wants to connect to the network, wirelessly or wire with an Ethernet cable. So what that means then, that after 192.168.1.1, any IP between 2 and 99, I can use those as an static IP, because the DHCP service is starting from 100. So that's why I'm gonna use 192.168.1.2 for the Raspberry Pi. That is the IP that I'm going to assign to the Raspberry Pi, the static IP. Okay, so we come back to this screen, and we're gonna change the IP. So how we do that? Well, we have to access to this folder It's sudo, no, actually, sorry, cd, change directory, etc. And then right here, I'm gonna find the config, the DHCP cd, right here, dhcpcd.conf. This is the file that we have to edit. Okay, so in order to do that, we go to, we're gonna do sudo nano dhcpcd.conf, right? So we're going to edit that file. Perfect. So we go to the end, and here the file is showing you example of a static IP configuration. So we just can copy this, but actually we don't need the IP6, but okay, I'm gonna copy all this, copy, and then I'm gonna paste it in the end. No, actually, no. Just this here, I do this. Okay, so I'm gonna copy it from here. And then I'm gonna paste it in. There we go. So these are the lines that we have to use. Interface ATH0 because I'm using the network card on my laptop. Static IP, I'm gonna assign 192.168.1.2/24, the type of the subnet. A static router is the address of the router, and the domain name servers, I'm gonna use just the Google DNS 8888 and then 8.8.4.4. Okay, Control X, yes, and enter. So after that, we're gonna reboot the Raspberry Pi, and you will see that if you see here, ETHC configured with 102, right? Now next time it's gonna be 1.2. Okay, so I'm going to reboot that Raspberry Pi. Okay, so after we change the IP address, now we want to, I just disconnect my keyboard, the mouse, and the external monitor. So I'm gonna connect to the Raspberry Pi remotely using my Windows laptop. So in order to do that, I need to download. If I want to use just the command line, I need to download this software, download PuTTY. This is the address, putty.org. I'm going to put in the link on the description, no problem. So we just click, and you're going to select Windows installer for 64-bit, which is my case. I just click on that. Let's see here. No, actually is right here, putty.x for 64 bits. So I just click in there, and we start the download. We don't have to install that program, actually, it's just the executable file. No, we just double click on it, and we execute the program. And then we're gonna if we're gonna use the VNC viewer, this is the web page that we're going to download the VNC viewer. You select which operating system you're using, in my case Windows, download VNC viewer, 64 bits, and the download start again. Well, VNC viewer, yes, you have to install it, no? After the download is complete, as fast as that. Okay, so after we download those two programs, let's see how they work. Like I said, PuTTY, right here. It's just the executable file. We don't have to install the program. So on host, we're gonna type the IP address that we assigned to the Raspberry Pi. Is 192.168.1.2. We're gonna use the port. Remember, we changed it 9009. We select connection type SSH. If we want, we can give it a name and then save it. So every time you want to use it, you just select it and load, and it's gonna load those parameters for you. Okay. For example, I'm gonna put it pi or new pi. I'm gonna put new pi. So we go save. It's created right here. So let's say when you open PuTTY, it's nothing. You select new pi, load, and it's gonna be, the parameters are gonna be here. So after you type those parameters, then you just go open. That's a security alert because it's the first time that we are connected to that Pi from this computer. After you accept it, then this message is not gonna, you're not gonna see this message again. So just yes, login as. Well, it's gonna ask you the username for the Pi, in this case Pi, and the password is the password that we set up on a previous video when I installed the booster on the Raspberry Pi. So you type the password, and you're gonna have access to the Raspberry Pi. See, this. So we're having access to Raspberry Pi using my Windows laptop. You can update the system. So you can control your Pi from your laptop remotely. Oh, it's up to date, so this is not gonna do anything. Okay, just as an example. So if you wanna quit, you just type exit. Boom. Now, if you're gonna access your Raspberry Pi through the Gui interface, you just, after you install the VNC viewer software, you just open it. You're gonna have that, and here you're gonna type, again, the same IP address that we assigned to the Raspberry Pi. In this case, it's 192.168.1.2. Enter. Identity check one more time because it's the first time you're logging in. You just do continue. Again, username. Pi is the username, password is the password that you create the first time we install the Buster OS on the Pi. I forgot. Right there. If you want, you can select remember password, so you don't have to type it every time you use the VNC viewer. Okay, and as you can see, this is what I use to control the Pi. Oh, the screen. Perfect. Okay. If you want to exit, X. Are you sure you want to disconnect? I just say yes. Okay, guys. Well, I hope I can help you again with these videos, and thank you.